A lot of Christians are leaving their faith.
Can you listen to what this man is saying up here? He is an Islamic teacher, and his name is Imam Muhammad Musli. He is the president of the Islamic Society of Central Florida in the United States. He's talking about the fact that Christians are leaving their faith. He said the churches are emptying out. He said the churches are emptying out in large, people are living in large numbers. And he said them Muslims are taking advantage of the opportunity. He said they are now buying up those churches. Instead of them going to build new mosques, they are buying up those churches and converting them to mosques. He said, yeah, they have bought 3 already. They are buying the 4th one, and they will continue to buy. He said some of them were missionary schools. They will convert them to Islamic schools. He said this is what Christians did to them some 100 years ago. That Christians invaded Islamic world and brought the teachings of Jesus Christ and converted many Muslims to Christianity. But now they are doing the same thing to Christians. But the thing is this, he said, first of all, Christians are leaving their faith. They are no more impressed by the teachings of Jesus Christ. This is happening in America. Note that this has happened in Europe. It's happening in America already, and the degree is much higher. It's already in Africa. People are getting tired of the teachings of Jesus Christ. They are leaving the churches for some other things. There, he said they are becoming atheists. They are believing there's no God, or they don't want to do anything about the place of the spirit. Here in Africa, they are becoming, they are turning themselves into idol worshippers and all manner of things. What does this portray for Christians or the churches of today? It is for Christians and church workers to change their ways, because it is not time for them to continue to drag, to continue to fight, to continue to maim, to continue to hate, to continue to misunderstand and quarrel over minor matters, whereas the churches are empty now, whereas there is a more important thing for them to talk about. I think it is time for Christians and church workers and leaders to change their ways, to change their method, to begin to preach love, to begin to use the church of Christ to reach out to humanity, to begin to make the church to have the face of humanity, to begin to make the church more welcoming than thinking of ways to take from the people, to cheat the people, to deceive the people. No, it will not continue to work. I want to tell you, if you continue in your old ways, you may come to church one day and you have nobody to preach to. And it is already happening. Open your eyes, pastors, change your ways, preach the gospel of salvation, the gospel of love, the gospel of unity, the gospel that will give someone eternal life. All this much talk about prosperity and the life here on earth is not what Jesus showed us to do. I want to leave you to listen to this man. Listen to him. I'll be back. Listen to what he's saying. Listen to him.
A lot of Christians are leaving their faith, especially the young generation. The churches are emptying out. The Pew Research Center has shown that in the last 10 years, 28% of people have left the church and became atheists or agnostic. They're not anymore impressed by the dogma that someone 2,000 years ago was crucified for their sins. They're searching for something that's more meaningful, that's consistent with science and consistent with the principles that we know today. Islam is the answer for them. And we are jumping on the opportunities that as these churches empty out, instead of spending larger amounts of money to build our masjids, we are buying these churches. We bought 3 churches so far, converted them to masjids, and now we have 1 we are buying with a school to make it, because we have to serve the same people. The people who were part of that community One day they will be Muslims. So we'll make it into a masjid and an Islamic school for our children and their children, inshallah. 100 years ago, they invaded the Muslim world and they built missionary schools and destroyed Islamic schools and masjids. Today, we bring the favor back, turn their churches into masjids and their schools into Islamic schools, bring the light of Islam to here. We're able to buy ready to go institutions that have been there for a long time, but they emptied out. And now it is time to be filled with Muslims, with reverts, converts. This is an election year, but we're not going to be happy with either candidate. We have to be happy when Islam becomes the best candidate for us. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give Islam the victory in this country, in our hearts, in our families, in our nation.